All right, let's talk about this. This is a wild story, you guys. Picture this. It's the 1950s. Rock and roll is exploding. And at the center of it all, the one and only Elvis Presley. The king. Everyone wanted to be him. The hair, the moves, the voice. It was a phenomenon. But then you get this other guy. His name was Alvin Presley, born in 1950. And his whole thing, his entire reason for being, it seemed, was to copy Elvis. Not just copy him, but to become him in the weirdest way possible. It started small, just a guy trying to get noticed. But it grew into something much, much stranger. You think you've seen it all? Just wait. Now, here's the crazy part. You'd think if you're going to dedicate your life to imitating someone, you'd at least be a fan, right? Wrong? So wrong? Alvin Presley apparently couldn't stand Elvis's music. He'd tell people, oh, those songs, so boring. Can you believe that? He called Hound Dog boring. He thought Jailhouse Rock was a total snooze. Yet what did he do every night? He got on stage, slicked his hair back just like Elvis, and sang those very same boring songs. He stole everything, the swagger, the sneer, the sequined jumpsuits. He was basically a walking, talking, hip-swiveling contradiction. It's like me hosting a show and saying, oh, interviews, the worst. So Alvin is out there building a career by being a carbon copy of a guy he supposedly can't stand. He got pretty famous too. People would come to his shows, and from a distance, you might actually think you were seeing the real deal. He had the look down, you have to give him that. But behind the scenes, it was all smoke and mirrors. He was meticulously studying Elvis's every move, not out of admiration, but out of a bizarre competitive spirit. He wanted the fame, the money, the screaming fans. He just didn't want to earn it with his own ideas. It was the ultimate case of fake it till you make it, but with a really weird, angry twist. This wasn't just some tribute act. Oh no, this was identity theft on a musical level. Alvin wasn't paying homage to the king, he was trying to usurp the throne. He saw Elvis's success and thought, I can have that. But instead of writing his own hits, he just took Elvis's. It's like if someone started a late-night show called The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Phoney and did all my bits. You'd be like, hey, wait a minute, that's thank you notes. That's what Alvin was doing. He was a walking, talking bootleg copy of a legend, and he was completely unapologetic about it. The whole thing was just bizarre from the get-go. So Alvin's career is taking off, but just copying Elvis wasn't enough for him. He needed more. He needed to be better than Elvis, or at least he needed everyone to think he was. So what does he do? He starts spreading rumors, nasty rumors. He would go to reporters, talk to fans after his shows, and just plant these little seeds of doubt about the real king. He'd say things like, you know, I heard Elvis doesn't even write his own thank you notes. Okay, maybe not that, but close. He was trying to tear down the original to make his copy look better. It was a calculated, mean-spirited campaign to ruin a guy's reputation from the shadows. Things got really ugly. Alvin's lies started to get more personal and more vicious. He wasn't just attacking the music anymore, he was attacking the man. He knew that if he could make people question Elvis's character, maybe they'd turn to him instead. He started spreading all sorts of false stories, that Elvis was secretly rude to his fans, that he was losing his voice, that his famous generosity was all a publicity stunt. People, for some reason, started to listen. The whispers grew louder. It was like a game of telephone from heck, and Alvin was the one who started the call. The public's love for Elvis started to waver, all because of this one jealous copycat. Then Alvin went for the jugular. He started a rumor that was so unbelievably cruel it's hard to even talk about. This is the big one. He began telling people that Elvis wasn't the biological father of his own daughter, Lisa Marie Presley. Can you imagine? To attack a man's family like that? It was a new low, even for him. This wasn't just about career jealousy anymore. This was a deeply personal and disgusting attack. He was trying to sever the most sacred bond a person has, all to sell a few more tickets to his knockoff show. It was a desperate, despicable move, and it showed just how far he was willing to go. And believe it or not, it worked, for a while anyway. The rumor about Lisa Marie's paternity spread like wildfire. Tabloids picked it up. People started talking. "Did you hear about Elvis?" they'd whisper. It was awful. Because of Alvin's relentless campaign of lies, a shadow was cast over the king. Some fans started to turn their backs on him. His record sales took a little dip. His concerts, while still popular, had a new, uncomfortable energy around them. All this negativity was bubbling up, and it all traced back to one source: Alvin Presley, the man who wanted the crown so badly he was willing to destroy the king to get it. It was a dark time for Elvis fans. But you can't keep a good king down, and you can't build a career on lies forever. By 1973, things started to change. You know how it is. The truth has a way of getting out. Journalists started digging. They started asking questions. Where is the proof for these claims? They'd ask Alvin. And of course, he had none. It was all just stuff he made up in his jealous little head. The rumor about Lisa Marie's paternity was completely debunked. People started to realize they'd been had. They'd been manipulated by a fraud. The tide began to turn, and it was turning fast. The fans were waking up, and they were not happy. Suddenly, Alvin wasn't the cool alternative to Elvis anymore. He was the villain of the story. The very fans who had once cheered for him now looked at him with contempt. People who had turned away from Elvis came rushing back, more loyal than ever. They felt guilty, forever doubting him. The love for the real king surged, stronger than before. It was like in a movie when everyone realizes who the bad guy is, and they all rally around the hero. Elvis's concerts became massive celebrations of his legacy, while Alvin's shows started to see more and more empty seats. The con was up. Alvin Presley became a joke, a punchline. People didn't go to his shows to see a tribute anymore. They went to heckle him. They'd shout, "Where's the real Elvis? And tell us another lie, Alvin." His career, which was built on a foundation of deceit, crumbled almost overnight. He went from playing decent-sized theaters to barely filling small, dingy clubs. He had tried to steal Elvis's identity, but in the end, the only thing he had destroyed was his own. He was a pariah in the world of rock and roll, a walking reminder of what happens when ambition turns toxic. He tried to fly too close to the sun, and his wax jumpsuit melted. The anger from Elvis fans was real, you guys. It was intense. They felt betrayed. They had been tricked into thinking ill of their idol, and the person responsible was this cheap imitation. The backlash against Alvin was massive. He couldn't go anywhere without being recognized as that guy who lied about Elvis. The same fame he had chased so desperately now became his prison. Every face in the crowd was a potential accuser. The man who had lived in Elvis's shadow was now consumed by a shadow of his own making, the shadow of public hatred. The tables hadn't just turned, they had been flipped over and set on fire. This is where the story takes a really dark and tragic turn. It's 1975. Alvin is only 25 years old. His career is in shambles. He's a social outcast. But the anger from the fans hadn't gone away. It had just been simmering. One night, after a poorly attended show at a small bar, Alvin was confronted by a group of furious Elvis fans. They were angry. They were enraged. They saw him as the man who had tried to defile the legacy of their king. An argument broke out and things escalated horribly. It turned violent. The very people he had tried to win over from Elvis turned on him in the most brutal way imaginable. The details are grim, but the story goes that he was beaten and trampled by the mob of angry fans. Alvin Presley, the man who wanted to be king, died right there. It was a shocking and violent end to a strange and sad story. His ambition and his lies had led him down a path that ended in tragedy. He had played with fire and gotten burned in the worst way. It serves as a crazy, cautionary tale about the dangers of jealousy and deceit. He wanted to be remembered like Elvis, but his legacy was sealed in that moment as something dark and cautionary, a truly unbelievable end to his life. But the story doesn't even end there. Get this, fast forward 8 years to 1983. Alvin is buried in some forgotten cemetery. His grave is unremarkable, a small, flat stone that few people ever visited. Then, one day, according to local legend, a stray dog just wandered into the cemetery. It roamed around, sniffing at things, and then, of all the graves it could have chosen, it stopped right at Alvin Priestley's. And yes, you guessed it, the dog peed on his grave. I'm not making this up. It's like even the animal kingdom had a final verdict on his legacy. You can't write this stuff. It's the universe's final, weird little editorial comment on his life. So today, on November 22nd, 2025, the name Alvin Priestley still gets mentioned every now and then. But nobody remembers him for his singing. Nobody remembers his stage presence. He is remembered as Elvis's biggest, meanest copycat. He's a footnote in rock and roll history, a cautionary tale about what not to do. He serves as a reminder that you can't build a legacy by tearing someone else's down. The real king, Elvis Presley, is remembered for his music, his charisma, his revolution. Alvin is just remembered for the lies, the hate, and, well, for a dog peeing on his grave. What a story. Unbelievable.